What's up, Ragin Nation? How's it going? This is Alex Yu, and you are no longer watching the countdown to TF1, considering that Transformers 1 has been out since September 19th. I'm filming this video on October 1st, and you've already seen my spoiler-free review. I'm now doing my spoiler-filled review, so if you haven't seen it yet, then don't watch this video because we're going to get into full details about why this film is so special. So if you haven't seen it, stop watching this video right now. And if you have seen it, continue watching. Now, before I get into the spoiler-filled review, I want to mention that I will be talking about these cool things at the end of this video, so stay tuned for that. We're going to talk about that at the end of the video. But for now, let's get into the full details of why Transformers 1 is such an awesome, outstanding, and fantastic film. And at the end of the day, this is something very, very, very special for the Transformers film franchise as a whole. So let's get right into it. Transformers 1. Yes, the reactions, the reviews, they're all true. This is a very awesome film, and I'm going to explain why. First of all, I love this story. I love the characters. The story about the origins of Orion Pax, or rather, the relationship of Orion Pax and D16 on their way to becoming Optimus Prime and Megatron. This is something very, very special because, honestly, I think that you could even say that this is the definitive version of their origins. What we saw in G1 was very, very brief, and it's quite different, actually. And if you haven't seen it, that's okay, because I think that this origin story of how they became who they are now it just has so much more depth to it. It's just a lot more detailed, and you really see and feel a relationship grow. I mean, they are friends that have each other's back. All right, they're miners mining for Energon on Cybertron, and then it's a very dangerous job, and then they look out for each other. And not only that, Optimus Prime is trying to he's looking out for the best interests of Megatron and trying to tell him that be all you can be, right? And we see that throughout the movie. And he's always lifting him up. They're always like lifting each other up, right? Especially Optimus Prime, Orion Pax trying to lift up D16's spirits, because D16 he's a little bit more, I don't know, maybe he's pessimistic. He's just kind of hopeful that there could be so much more. But Orion Pax, on the other hand, he feels that there truly is much more, and we're gonna go out of our way to look for that, and I'm gonna show you. So I love that. The contrast in their characters, even though they're striving for the same thing. And then it eventually leads to, of course, them becoming Optimus Prime and Megatron. And, we know that, like, what's going to happen. We just don't know how they get there. And the execution of that in this film, in this telling of that story, I gotta say that this is definitive. Now, I love the 1986 animated film. It will always hold a special place in my heart. But this is something truly special because there's so much more story and character development in this. Essentially, there are two stories going on. The relationship of Orion Pax and D16 against the backdrop of another story, and that's the Sentinel Prime betrayal story. And it's a story that. It's not that I care less about it. It's just a backdrop story. All right. It's just there. Whereas the story that I truly care about the most is how Orion Pax and D16 become to where they are, from the very beginning to the very, very climactic end and heartbreaking end of the relationship at the third act of the film. All right. As for the Sentinel Prime story, okay, I got to say something. As I was walking out of the theater on the very first showing of this film, I couldn't help but say to myself, and this is not necessarily a bad thing, I was telling myself that, you know what? I've seen this story before. I've seen the story where the public or the citizens or the people are doing something, and they're just doing it like robots, for lack of a better term. They're just doing it. They're doing their job because that's what they're told. But but then they didn't realize they're living a lie the whole time. And then it's revealed near the end of the movie that, the grand reveal on these big screens that, hey, you've been living a lie and so has been lying to you. And then they revolt. We've seen this story trope many times in other films. Okay, it's not original, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing, because it's not a bad thing. This story works for this relationship. I mean, for the relationship of Orion Pax and D16. It totally works. It's a great tool, or vehicle rather, to drive the story forward, and in the case of this story, the relationship forward. It totally works. Like, it needed to do that to make up for what's to come for the relationship. All right, so it's not a bad thing. There's lots of other movies in Hollywood that have recycled the same story trope again and again and again, but it still works. They just change other details, and that's what they're doing with this story. Okay, I'm sure you guys have seen it before. I'm going to throw an example out for you. V for Vendetta. Okay, that movie has a similar a story, like a concept, and that is like they were told lies through the media, and then it's revealed at the end in the big screen what's actually happening, and then they revolt. So that's exactly what happens in Transformers 1. It's the same sort of story, but what of course matters the most is, well, it's a Transformers story, and also it's the origins of Orion Pax and D16. The relationship, but the origins of Optimus Prime and Megatron, okay? So that's why I give this movie a 9 out of 10, okay? Now, when I did my spoiler free review, I said that I give it a 9 out of 10 because, I'm just not used to Chris Hemsworth and Brian Tyree Henry voicing these beloved, iconic characters. I'm just not, okay? But as I watched it a couple more times, you know what? I got used to it. And, I'll give it a pass because it does work. And now that I've seen it 3 times, I understand what they're going for. They're going for like a younger version of these characters that are that we've seen like 40 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So, I love Peter Cullen. I love Frank Welker. Imagine if they actually voiced them. Like, that would be awesome. I would lose my mind, right? But you know what? Their voices have aged, and the characters that they voiced don't sound the same as they did 40 years ago, right? So I understand why they had to get a younger voice like Chris Hemsworth, Brian Tyree Henry, and it works when it's definitely a different version of it, but it's not like we haven't heard different versions of Optimus Prime voiced by a different actor before. It's not like we haven't heard that before. So, you know what? It totally works. I've watched it 3 times and I'm okay with it. Now, when I first reviewed, I gave it a 9 out of 10 for that reason. Now I'm still giving it a 9 out of 10 because of the fact that the story is, the backdrop story is not something original. It's something that we have seen before, but it still works. But imagine if they did something else that's a little bit more original with some more twists. I think that would have been more surprising, because if we've seen the story before, then it's kind of predictable. But what isn't predictable is how you would feel, or how it made me feel, when Megatron finally betrayed Optimus. Or rather, I don't want to say he betrayed him. What he did was he was just tired of saving him. He said, "I'm done saving you." And you know what, man, I love how director Josh Cooley was able to bring so much emotion out of this movie. The Transformers 1 is a fun, kind of goofy Transformers retelling, because the characters, the way that it's animated, and you have the comedy from Bumblebee and everything that goes on in it. It's kind of like it's very cartoony, you know what I'm saying? But you know what? This movie just gets darker and darker and darker, to the point where when it finally happens, when that, the backstabbing, or the where Megatron, D16 says to Orion Pax, "I'm done saving you," you're like, oh, like, holy crap. And that is because you are so invested in these two characters' relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like, that relationship, that friendship is so it's such a very bonding thing. Like, they have this bond. All right, they're actually 2 very contrasting characters, but essentially they're striving for the same thing. D16, he wants more, but he's kind of afraid to get it, whereas Orion Pax, he wants more, but he's going to go out of his way to get it. And even if it's he needs to drag his buddy along, you know what I'm saying? So I love that the characters are the same, but they're different. And speaking of characters, oh my god, once they introduced the High Guard, wow. That was a true nostalgia moment. Okay, Starscream sitting on a throne. Next to him is Shockwave and Soundwave, and like wow, man, I was at a loss for words when that finally happened. That was super super cool because like I was so invested in Optimus Prime and Megatron that I totally forgot about these other characters. Speaking of other characters, did you look all around to see like Sideswipe and Jazz and Wheeljack, like so many of them were there, and yeah, it was just so cool. I love the action in this movie. It's very very high kinetic Michael Bay style. You know, it definitely takes inspiration from Michael Bay because I mean look at the action when Megatron and D16 finally fight, like the cinematics and the the slow mo and the fact that they're combining a robot hand to hand fighting with transformations and transforming into truck and transforming into tank. You know, I love that. Like that is like boom boom boom. Like you cannot imagine how exciting it is until you finally watch it. And I love that like the climactic battle between Optimus and Megatron is not too short or it's not too long, but it leaves you wanting more. All right, it's just the right amount of like robot fighting to the point where you feel like okay, they gotta give us more, and you know I'm really liking what I'm seeing. They gotta give us more, and man, I don't know if I covered everything, but I'll tell you that man, there's like I can't wait to watch this one again. It's that good, and you know it's kind of like if you're a G1 fan, you're gonna love this. If you are a Transformers Prime fan, you definitely gonna love this. And if you love both Prime, Transformers Prime, and G1, oh my God, this is gonna be the dream project, okay? And it truly is. And I'm looking forward to any live action iteration of Transformers, but what I'm looking forward to now is this trilogy that they're talking about, all right? This Transformers 2, Transformers 3. Like, I want to see that all the way until, like, hopefully at the end of Transformers 3, they bring it to Earth. You know what I'm saying? I want to see that happen. Or hopefully they continue it, because there's lots of stories to be told and a lot of characters to introduce. All right, anyways, I'm sure there's so much more I can say about this film, but I'm just going to leave it at that. So, yeah. That's my spoiler-filled review of Transformers 1. So, let me talk to you about these things. I got 3 packs. I mean, I have 3 in each hand, which makes 6. I got 6 packs of these. These are Transformers melts. Okay, this is something that's very, very cool. It's from Culture Fly. That's the company that is bringing to us these cool collectibles. And these are mystery vinyl toys, okay? You know, these blind box packaging, mystery pack packaging. That's what it is, okay? We don't know what's in here, okay? I got 6 packs, but what I do know is if you look in the back of the box, or back of the packaging, there are 6 different kinds, and there are two chase figures, and I know that the chase figures are actually one of them is of course Soundwave, because everybody loves Soundwave. You can't have a collection of these figures without Soundwave. And then the other chase, which is even harder to find, is actually Nemesis Prime. Now let me explain to you what these things actually are. I'm gonna let me just pull up some info. These are Transformers melts. And they're called melts because if you take a look at what they are Transformers heads on a popsicle stick, okay? And it looks like, I mean, the design of them, it's inspired by those ice pop desserts that we used to eat on as a kid on a popsicle stick. And I'm gonna open one up and I'm gonna show you what it looks like. Okay, here we go. Let's open this up. Let's see what we got. Okay, well, this is the base. And this is here's Starscream. Starscream is on a stick, and then you just place it like so. I'm just trying to... oh, or you could do this. You could even do this. Here, just like that. That's pretty cool, huh? Or then I've seen a picture of them I'm just looking at the website here. I've seen a picture of it where it's actually on its side here, but I just gotta stick it in. There you go. Something like this. It's okay, for now I'll just have it like this, okay? So like this, okay? So that's pretty cool. That's Starscream, and it's got a chunk bitten out of that. Anyways, that's Starscream. I'm going to open up one more just because I want to share with you what these guys actually look like. So let's see which one we have here. Oh, it's Megatron. Check that out. Here is the base. It's gray and purple. And then, there we go. I'm just going to stick the popsicle stick in the base. And then there you have it. Okay, so these are from Culturefly. And these will be out at the culturefly.com website as well as at Walmart in early November. Okay, these are going to be on shelves at Walmart in November. However, if you are going to be going to New York City Comic Con, which is happening on October 17th to the 20th, all you got to go to is booth number 1235. Culturefly is going to be there at New York City Comic Con booth 1235, and they're going to have an exclusive metallic set available for you to purchase at their booth, okay? So the metallic version is exclusive to New York City Comic Con, so make sure you check out booth 1235. You know what? Let's just open up another one. Let's see what we got. And I think it's going to be really cool if you're able to get the metallic version. Here's Bumblebee. Check it out. This is hilarious. This is awesome. I think these are pretty cool. If you love Transformers and you like vinyl art figures, this is definitely for you because these are very, very cool, and they're kind of nostalgic because these are the G1 designs, of course. So very, very cool. Collect all 6. This is the first series, and of course, with them being blind box packaging, you might end up being a lucky collector and you might end up with Soundwave or the even more rare chase, the Nemesis Prime. Anyways, that's all I gotta say in this video. Be sure to check out culturefly.com as well as following them on Instagram. Alright, so there you have it. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed my spoiler-filled review. I'm going to do another video talking about Transformers 1. We got to talk about Easter eggs and all the different references to, the other iterations of Transformers. I really, really want to talk about that in another video, so stay tuned for that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. My name's Alex Yu. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.